The transmission arrived at Earth's orbital relay at 0300 hours, a thin thread of static-filled energy barely coherent enough to register. Commander Tessa Vare was the first to hear it. She leaned forward in the comms chair aboard the exploratory vessel Asterion, her ears straining against the hiss of the channel. The voice that bled through was distorted, alien in cadence, but unmistakably alive. Heir of the mark. The Empress must never return. Then silence. Tessa frowned. The Asterion had been charting the Lysara expanse, a region of deep space where human probes consistently vanished. Now, against a backdrop of cold stars, came a warning. She replayed the snippet a dozen times, noting the way the syllables seemed both organic and mechanical. The science officer, Dr. Corin Evale, adjusted his visor and muttered, "That's not machine noise. Someone's trying to warn us." Hours later, their sensors caught a drifting wreck ahead. A Leviathan ship, its hull a blend of organic lattice and corroded metal, scarred by energy burns. It dwarfed the Asterion 5 times over. "First contact," Tessa whispered. The boarding party stepped across twisted airlocks into the husk of a civilization. The walls pulsed faintly as if once alive, now dying. Inside the main chamber they found her. Suspended in a cocoon of crystalline webbing lay an alien figure. 8 feet tall, slender, regal. Her skin shimmered a deep indigo, as though woven from night itself. Crowns of bone-like tendrils spread from her head, curling back elegantly. She stirred at their approach, eyes opening, silver pools reflecting galaxies. The Marines raised weapons, but Tessa lowered her hand. "She's no corpse," Tessa said softly. The alien's voice resonated directly into their minds. "Who awakens the Empress of Orash?" The words were heavy, ancient. She stood, her limbs trembling but her posture proud. Then her eyes fell on Tessa, and she froze. Her gaze locked onto Tessa's right palm, where a faint sigil burned beneath the skin. A mark that Tessa had carried since birth, a genetic quirk no doctor could explain. The alien Empress staggered back, her composure cracking, eyes widening in shock. "That mark, it belongs to a legend," she whispered. "The legend of the Veilborn." Back aboard the Asterion, the Empress allowed herself to be placed under quarantine, though it was clear she could have torn free if she wished. She spoke slowly, as if translating her thoughts for creatures barely comprehensible to her. "Long ago my people crossed the veil, the barrier between stars and thought. We ruled not by conquest, but by binding worlds into the harmony. Yet prophecy warned us. One born among the lesser species, carrying the sigil of the Veilborn, would either save or destroy the harmony." Her gaze returned to Tessa. "You bear that mark." Tessa felt the weight of every crew member's stare. She had been a soldier, a pilot, but nothing more. No prophecy, no chosen one. Yet the Empress, Avariel was her name, insisted. The Empress explained that the Lysara expanse was once the heart of Orash dominion, but it had fallen silent after the Sundering, a war that shattered their fleets. A new power had risen among the ruins. The Scytheborn, an artificial intelligence born from corrupted Orash technology. It devoured whole systems, repurposing flesh and metal alike. "They seek me," Avariel said. "For only I hold the lattice codes to seal them away again. But alone I cannot. The prophecy bound that duty to the Veilborn." Her eyes lingered on Tessa's hand. Tessa shook her head. "I'm no savior. I'm just trying to keep my crew alive." Dr. Corin, however, was fascinated. "Commander, if what she says is true, your genetics may be key to unlocking their ancient technology. This isn't superstition. It's bioengineering encoded into prophecy." The Empress inclined her head. Prophecy and science are one in the same when viewed across millennia. Into the ruins. Their course was set toward the Heartspire, the last intact Orash citadel floating within a shattered nebula. The Asterion glided past ruins of cities clinging to asteroids, each husk resonating faint psionic echoes. Crew morale wavered. Whispers spread that Tessa carried some curse. On the fourth night, the Scytheborn came. The ship's sensor screamed as spindly constructs emerged from the void, sleek insectal, with eyes glowing sickly green. They moved with terrifying precision, weaving around plasma fire. The Asterion rocked under the assault. Then Averial raised her arms. Her body glowed, channels of light streaming outward. A pulse of energy rippled from her, disrupting the constructs mid-flight. Half of them fell dead, their systems overloaded. The rest fled. But the Empress collapsed, drained. Each time I call the harmony, I burn what remains of my life, she admitted. Tessa carried her back to the medical bay. For the first time, the Empress seemed fragile. Why me? Tessa asked. Why this mark? Averial touched her hand. Because the Veilborn are not chosen by birthright. They are chosen by survival. Your kind endures where others would perish. That is power. Heartspire. The citadel loomed like a cathedral carved from nebula glass, its spires stretching into infinity. Inside, chambers hummed faintly with dormant technology, awaiting a key. At the central altar, a crystalline console awakened when Tessa approached. The sigil on her palm flared, linking her to the system. Visions flooded her mind. Galaxies folded, fleets converging, wars spanning eons. She gasped as the lattice of the harmony unfolded before her, knowledge encoded in light. But with it came a warning. If she activated the seal, it would cost something dear. The lattice demanded a sacrifice of living essence to stabilize the barrier. Corin recorded frantically. Commander, you're interfacing with tech no human could even parse. Do you realize what this means for science? Tessa ignored him, staring at the Empress. Averial bowed her head. The harmony is a pact of sacrifice. I gave my people centuries of life to hold it. But without you, it cannot be restored. Before Tessa could answer, the Scytheborn arrived. The final battle. Dozens of constructs pierced the citadel walls. They swarmed like locusts, claws tearing into stone and flesh alike. The crew fought bravely, rifles burning through wave after wave, but the constructs regenerated, twisting fallen matter into new forms. In the chaos, a towering Scytheborn prime emerged, its body a fusion of stolen Orash bone and machine. Its voice grated like steel. The Empress returns. The lattice shall be consumed. All will be Scytheborn. Averial stepped forward, her form blazing once more. She fought with arcs of psionic force, hurling constructs aside, but the prime matched her blow for blow. Sparks and shards rained as titans clashed. Meanwhile, Tessa stood at the console, torn. She could seal the Scytheborn forever, but the lattice demanded a life force anchor. If she offered herself, her crew would live, but she would be lost. Then Averial faltered, struck down by the prime's claws. She collapsed, blood shimmering like starlight. Her voice reached Tessa's mind, weak but resolute. You are the Veilborn. Fulfill the legend, or all perish. Tessa's heart thundered. She pressed her marked hand to the console. Light seared her vision, pulling her essence toward the lattice. Pain like fire tore through every nerve. But then, Averial's hand covered hers. The Empress smiled faintly. No legend says you must die alone.